Genghis Khan was born around the year 1162 near the Onon River in northeastern Mongolia. At birth he was named Temujin, in honor of a Tatar leader captured by his father. His father, Yesugei, commanded a small tribal alliance, and his mother, Holan, was respected for strength and endurance. When Temujin was 9 years old, his father was poisoned by enemies. The family lost protection and rank, forcing them to live in hardship. Through these early experiences, Temujin learned to value resourcefulness, loyalty, and perseverance, qualities that later defined his leadership. As a youth, he adapted to the nomadic life of the Central Asian steppe. He hunted, rode horses from an early age, and learned to survive in the open plains under severe climates. The horse became essential to his way of life. Mongolian ponies were small but exceptionally strong, capable of traveling long distances while grazing freely. Each rider kept several mounts and changed horses often, allowing unmatched mobility. This reliance on the horse laid the foundation for the future mobility of the Mongol army. Temujin grew into a determined leader, forming alliances through friendship and loyalty rather than bloodline. He united smaller clans by enforcing discipline and rewarding merit. Gradually, his reputation spread across the region. By strict organization and consistent justice, he built trust among his followers. After years of conflict and negotiation, he subdued rival tribes and, in 1206, gathered their chiefs in a great council known as the Kurultai. There he was proclaimed Genghis Khan, or universal ruler. This marked the formal creation of the Mongol state and the beginning of his empire. Genghis Khan's army operated under a precise system of organization. He divided his forces into units of tens, hundreds, and thousands, commanded by carefully chosen officers. Obedience was absolute, and the law code known as the Yasa established punishment for cowardice, theft, and disloyalty. Rewards were distributed according to achievement, not family status. The result was an army based on skill and discipline rather than hereditary privilege. Communication and intelligence gave the Mongols extraordinary coordination across vast distances. They built a relay network of supply and message stations known as the Yam. Mounted couriers could deliver orders or reconnaissance reports across thousands of kilometers. This system made it possible to move separate columns like parts of a single instrument, converging on targets from different directions with accurate timing. The horse remained at the heart of Mongol strategy. A typical soldier traveled with several horses, changing mounts to maintain speed and endurance. Soldiers could ride for days, sleeping in the saddle and feeding on dried meat or fermented mare's milk. Mobility was their chief advantage. Entire armies shifted position faster than their enemies could react. On the battlefield, mounted archers encircled opponents with continuous movement, releasing arrows while galloping at full speed. The composite bow, made from horn, sinew, and wood, gave each rider long range and great penetrating power. Against heavier European or Asian armies, the Mongol cavalry avoided direct charge until opponents were exhausted and disorganized. Genghis Khan integrated strategic deception into nearly every campaign. One of his most effective methods was the feigned retreat. A unit would deliberately withdraw, drawing the enemy into pursuit. Once the hostile formation extended and lost cohesion, hidden reserves struck from the flanks or rear. The maneuver trapped larger forces and caused panic. This tactic was used with devastating effect at the Battle of the Khalkha River in 1223 against the Rus princes and their allies. When confronting walled cities, the Mongols combined nomadic mobility with acquired siege knowledge. Engineers from conquered territories, especially in northern China and Persia, built catapults, rams, and siege towers. At the siege of Zhongju in 1215, Genghis Khan used artillery and surrounding blockades to cut off supplies, forcing surrender through exhaustion. This blending of rapid cavalry operations with advanced siegecraft allowed continual expansion into both steppe and settled regions. Campaigns followed one another in measured sequence. In 1209 he subdued the kingdom of Western Xia, securing Mongolian borders. From 1211 onward he attacked the Jin dynasty, capturing major cities and gaining control of northern China by 1215. In 1219 he turned westward toward the Khwarezmian Empire after its ruler executed a Mongol trade mission. The invasion was meticulously planned. Divisions advanced along separate routes through deserts and mountain passes, reuniting to strike key centers such as Bukhara and Samarkand. By 1221 the Khwarezmian state had collapsed. His commanders, including Subutai and Jeeb, carried out deep reconnaissance into the Caucasus and the Russian steppes, demonstrating the empire's ability to project power across continents. The Mongol army was self-sufficient. Each soldier carried equipment, provisions, and tools for repair, supported by herds that provided food and transport. This independence allowed continuous campaigning without long supply lines. Beyond the battlefield, Genghis Khan restructured governance to ensure stability. He selected administrators from diverse backgrounds and appointed capable individuals regardless of origin. Trade was encouraged through official protection of merchants and travelers, creating safer caravan routes across Asia. The result was a vast network of communication later known as the Pax Mongolica, linking China, Central Asia, Persia, and Eastern Europe under single authority. Religion was treated with tolerance. Buddhists, Muslims, Christians, and others were allowed to practice their faiths without interference provided they obeyed law and paid taxes. The Khan valued knowledge and often spared craftsmen, scholars, and translators in conquered territories, employing them in construction, administration, and science. Through such policies, skills and ideas traveled across borders with unprecedented speed. In 1226, Western Shia rebelled against Mongol control. Despite age and illness, Genghis Khan led the campaign personally to re-establish authority. The following year he died, reportedly from injuries or illness sustained during the campaign. His burial site was kept secret according to Mongol custom, hidden somewhere in the mountains of northeastern Mongolia. After his death, power passed to his third son, Ojide, who continued expansion into Europe and China. Under his successors, the empire reached its greatest territorial extent, ruling nearly 23 million square kilometers. The key to that power remained unchanged: disciplined organization, rapid movement, and dependence on the endurance of the steppe horse. The influence of Genghis Khan reshaped Eurasia. His combination of mobility, strict command, and administrative unity created one of history's most effective military systems. Trade across the Silk Road flourished, technologies and ideas moved freely, and communication improved between distant cultures. While his campaigns caused destruction, they also produced a new level of global connection. In present-day Mongolia, Genghis Khan is honored as a founder of the nation and a figure of national pride. Historians abroad regard him as one of the most dynamic leaders of the medieval world, both a conqueror and a state builder. His mastery of organization, his understanding of timing and terrain, and his use of the horse as a weapon of speed and endurance changed the course of world history. More than 8 centuries later, his influence endures in military studies and in the story of how one leader turned the scattered tribes of the steppe into an empire that transformed Eurasia.